Good morning, dear children. Welcome back. In today's session, we will continue our learning process of Class 5, Term 3 in Social Science, Forts and Palaces, Part 2. Come children, let us learn. Before going into today's session, let us have a recap of what we learned in the last one. Dears, in the last session, we discussed about Vellore Fort and Dindigul Fort. Dears, Vellore Fort is a 16th century fort situated in Vellore. It was built by the kings of the Vijayanagara. It is considered to be the most invincible fort in Tamilnadu. It is surrounded by a deep and wide moat which houses crocodiles. The Vellore Fort contains the Jalakanteshwara temple, church, mosque, museum and the 5 important mahals like Haidar Mahal, Tippu Mahal, Begum Mahal, Kandy Mahal and Badshah Mahal. Coming to Dindigul Fort, it is a 17th century hill fort situated in Dindigul. It is also called as Dindigul Malai Kote. In the 18th century, it was passed on to the kingdom of Mysore. The Dindigul Fort was built by the Nayakars of Madurai in order to defend their region from the invading Mysore army. The fort was cemented with double walls to withstand heavy artillery. We also learned about Fort St. George, which is the first fort built by the British in India. It is located in Chennai. Our state secretariat is functioning inside the fort. In Pudukkottai, you have the Thirumayam Fort, which is famous for its artistic work and architectural brilliance. It has got large rock inscriptions. In Kanchipuram, you have a fort built by the Dutch. It is a magnificent Sardas Fort. It was built for the commercial purpose. Dear children, in this session we will discuss about the other important forts and palaces. Now we will learn about the Jinji Fort, G-I-N-G-E-E, Jinji. Jinji Fort is another beautiful fort in Tamilnadu, which is located at Villupuram district. Where is Jinji Fort located? In Villupuram district, V-I-L-L-U-P-U-R-A-M, Villupuram district. Jinji Fort is built across 3 hills. You can find this fort stretching across 3 hills. The fort walls are 13 kilometers long and the 3 hills are connected by walls. You can see the length of the fort's wall is 13 kilometers. And you can see all the 3 hills are connected by walls. It is built at a height of 800 feet and is protected by a 80 feet wide moat. Do you know children what is the height of the fort? It is 800 feet and is protected by a 80 feet wide moat. You know that moat is a place where you can store water and it is used to have a protection for the court. Fort will be protected with the water in that. It is a huge fort with many attractions like Kalyan Mahal, temples, Anekulam Pond, granaries and a watch tower. What are the attractions? You have a Kalyan Mahal, you have temples, then Anekulam Pond, granaries. Granaries are the places where you store the grains, and a watchtower. A watchtower is a place from where the guards will be watching over the fort. They are at a very high place and they will be able to watch over the whole fort. What you see on the picture is that of a Jinji Fort. You can see how the construction is. Thick walls you can find in the picture. Now we will learn about the Tarangim Fort. Tarangim, T-H-A-R-A-N-G-A-M-B-A-D-I, Tarangim Fort. It is locally called Danish Fort. What is the local name for that fort? It is Danish Fort, D-A-N-I-S-H, Danish. and it is located on the shores of Bay of Bengal in Tarangambadi or Tarangkubar in Tamilnadu. Where is it located? On the shores of Bay of Bengal. Children, the fort is trapezoidal in shape with 3 rooms in the left wing. You can find the fort in the shape of a trapezoid. Trapezoidal, trapezoidal. Trapezoid is the shape as shown in the picture. Trapezoid, Trapezoid, and the fort has got that shape. The central part of the fort has 4 domes. The central pillar of the hall holds the entire weight of the domes. You can see the beautiful Tarangambadi fort in the picture, and you can see the structure. It is that of a trapezium, and you can see the domes also clearly. Now children, it is time for us to learn about the palaces. Palaces. P-A-L-A-C-E-S. Palaces. Children, what is a palace? Yes, that is right. It is a place where kings and queens will live. A palace is a grand residence, especially a royal residence. It will house the king and queen. Dear children, the first palace we are going to learn about is the Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. Thirumalai, Thirumalai Nayakar, Nayakkar, Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. The majestic Thirumalai Nayakar Palace is a 17th century architecture of the Nayakkar dynasty. It was built by the Nayakkar dynasty. It is one of the most popular palaces in South India. Which is the most popular palaces in South India? It is the Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. The Thirumalai Nayakar Palace is located in the city of Madurai. Madurai is an ancient city, and in Madurai you can find the Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. This is one of the tourist spots of Tamilnadu. You can find many tourists coming to visit these places. In Madurai, especially the Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. Dear children, the Thirumalai Nayakar Palace is widely known for its giant pillars. You can see the huge pillars. And this palace is very famous for that. It has an archaeological museum. There is an archaeological museum in the palace. The major attraction of this palace is the courtyard and the dancing hall. Courtyard, C-O-U-R-T-Y-A-R-D, courtyard. It is an area adjacent to the building, enclosure. You can find a courtyard as well as a dancing hall in the Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. There is another important residence in Madurai that is called as the Tamukkam Palace. Tamukkam Palace. T-A-M-U-K-K-A-M. Tamukkam Palace. It was a summer residence of the Queen Rani Mangammal of the Nayak dynasty. It was the summer residence of Queen Rani Mangammal. Then you have Fernhill Palace in Ooty, as served as a summer palace for the kings of Mysore. Children, Ooty is a hill station, and during summer time it will be a cooler area compared to the Mysore, hot Mysore. So that was a summer palace for the kings of Mysore, the Fernhill Palace in Ooty. An activity for you. You have to connect the following objects with their name. You can find a throne, a crown, a shield, bow and arrow, and a sword. You have to connect the names with the correct picture. Before winding up the session, let us have a recap of what we learned. Dear children, in this session we discussed about the Jinji Fort. It is a beautiful fort in the Villupuram district built across 3 hills. It has 13 kilometers long walls and height of 800 feet, protected by an 80 feet moat. The Tarangim Fort is called as a Danish fort, located on the shores of Bay of Bengal in Tarangim in Tamilnadu. It is a trapezoidal in shape with 3 rooms in the left wing. We also learnt about the Thirumalai Nayakar Palace in the city of Madurai, built in the 17th century by the Nayakar dynasty, with a beautiful dancing hall and courtyard and giant pillars. The summer residence of Queen Rani Mangammal of the Nayakar dynasty also is there in Madurai. It is called as Thamukam Palace. The summer palace for kings of Mysore was the Fernhill Palace in Ooty. Dear children, in the next session we will discuss about the other important palaces. Now it is time for worksheet number 2. Roman number 1, fill in the blanks. Thirumalai Nayakar Palace is situated in dash. Thirumalai Nayakar Palace is situated in dash. Dash fort is locally called Danish fort. Dash fort is locally called Danish fort. True or false? Umayan Kote is the other name for Jinji Fort. Umayan Kote is the other name for Jinji Fort. Roman number 3, answer in detail. Question number 1. Write a short note on Tarangim Fort. Write a short note on Tarangim Fort. Question number 2. Name some of the tourist attractions of Jinji Fort. Name some of the tourist attractions of Jinji Fort. Question number 3. Give a short note on Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. Give a short note on Thirumalai Nayakar Palace. That's all for today's session, my dear children. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Samacheer Kalvi Guide. Thank you.